All right, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers getting ready to stack up for the start. Giancarlo and Avery Walker will start up front. Adam Barker, previous season champion, defending champ, starts in third. Harry Volsmir in fourth. Yuho and Brian LaRue on the third row. Mike Dulling and Dylan Steinbach have the fourth row. Ed Schiller and Matt Bear rounding out the field here. If you have a favorite driver in the field, as always, make sure you drop in the comments. Let us know who you're rooting for here today. There's the field. A few new paint schemes in the mix out here today. All the drivers look like just waiting on the Mad Bear. Matt Bear is not taken to the grid. Up there is Matt. Looks like his paint scheme actually did not load correctly. But the drivers are rolling. We're about to go racing from Hockenheim. Giancarlo does not get moving. There he goes. There is your map of this awesome, awesome track. A lot of the drivers not huge fans of this track. Was really surprised by the number of drivers said they were not excited about running here. And it is a Mercedes stacked field with 5 Mercedes in the field. 1 Lambo, 1 Audi, 2 BMWs. Here they come out of the final turn. Giancarlo leads. The fire green flag is in the air and they're headed toward turn 1 where a lot of excitement does happen here. So far so good. Everybody makes it through. Oh! We've got 2 cars around. Yuho is flying. Looks like Ed Schiller may have been caught. Yuho was caught. Harry Volsmir. Oh, Harry gets too much of the rumble strip, clips Yuho. And then Ed Schiller comes by and just has nowhere to go. Yuho goes for a ride. The rumble strips out of turn 1 can be brutal. And there you see Yuho hard hit to the inside. Gets hit by one of the Mercedes and then the Ferrari of Ed Schiller. It is chaos early at Hockenheim. Looks like Dylan Steinbach may have had an incident a few moments later, or it may have been him being caught in that. No, he ended up off track after getting under Yuho. He got rolling again. Ed Schiller, everybody gets rolling again, but the track temperature here being hotter than they anticipated is playing havoc on the drivers, plus the big, big rumble strips here. Giancarlo out front completes the first lap, and 1 lap into this, the whole lineup has essentially changed, except for that lead spot, that top 2. Still Giancarlo in the lead, Avery Walker in second, and look who's sneaking his way forward. Adam Barker now in third, Brian LaRue in fourth, and Mike Dulling in fifth. Great run out of Brian so far. Mike Dulling up to 5th. Harry back to 6th after being involved in that incident. Dylan Steinbach in 7th, coming to pit road for repairs. He probably is not alone. Yuho is in for repairs. Ed Schiller is in for repairs. Matt Bear started from pit road and currently running in 10th. He might actually pick up some positions here. as we mentioned, the track temperature quite a bit hotter than the drivers were expecting this morning. It was playing havoc in practice and qualifying. We saw a lot of drivers sliding around, sliding the back end, especially getting on power on some of these tighter turns. Drivers trying to use every bit of track. Look at how much further out Adam Barker is going than Avery Walker at the moment. Adam did say the heavier noses on some of these cars would definitely help them, especially that Mercedes, the heavier front end, the longer front end might come into play. But right now it is a Lambo up front, an Audi, and then a BMW. And the gap, that top three, is all within about 1.5 seconds. Brian LaRue now 2.4 seconds back. Mike Dulling gaining on him. Oh, a little slide. There you see that little bit of slide out of the back end of the Mercedes of Mike Dulling. Chance, you're definitely right. All you can do is back it up and back up corner entry, easier on corner exit, hope for the best. And Adam Barker is on the attack. He was trying to set up on Avery Walker, hasn't got there yet, but Avery definitely knows he is there. Adam Barker, very enthusiastic, really positive attitude. Got that championship, finally shook off all the bad luck, looking to get go back to back and defend his title. Giancarlo came around and set the fastest lap of the race so far. 137.18. And he is already starting to open that gap. It was 1.5 seconds between the top three. Now it's 1.5 from first to second place as Avery and Adam battle it out. Brian LaRue starting to pull away from Mike Dulling just a little bit. We saw Dulling struggling to put the power down earlier. And it looks like some clouds have fallen over the track. Should cool. Holy cow, Adam. Let's take a quick look at the track temperature. Currently 89-degree track temperature, 69-degree air temperature. The clouds coming over will cool certain parts of the track. That should help. We'll keep an eye throughout the day. Going into race 2, the track will probably be even hotter. Meanwhile, Giancarlo, he is starting to pull away even further. Worth noting that this is actually the first time we've ever broadcast this track, so really excited to be here with this group this morning. Season opener, first time broadcasting here, Hockenheim ring. This is fun. And again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope you're having a great day. Avery Walker in second. We saw how hard Adam was pushing a few moments ago. Avery, being a little bit more conservative, has now managed to open up a little bit of a gap. Adam is probably, we saw this the last couple of races of last season, where Adam had to back out a little bit for a couple laps and save some tire. Wow! I don't think he's backing off or saving at all here. Thought he might be backing off to cool the tires there, but obviously the way he came through the hairpin, Brian LaRue has started coming alive just a little bit. He is actually gaining, he was right until that moment, gaining some ground on Adam Barker. He had also been pulling away from Mike Dulling. Mike Dulling just gained 0.3 of a second. As mentioned, the Mercedes apparently seemed to have a little bit better handle on this hot track this morning. Matt Baer, who started from pit road, is currently up into 6th spot. Harry Volsmere up to 7th. He, one of the few that did not come to pit road early. Yuho back in 8th. Dillon in 9th. Ed Schiller in 10th. All three of them involved in that lap 1 incident. The top three finally starting to open up a bit of a gap between each other. Giancarlo definitely happy to be back after missing the second half of the last season. Adam Barker currently runs in 3rd, Brian LaRue in 4th. And since Giancarlo is coming around, let's take a lap in the cockpit of the Lambo. Out of the final turn using every bit of track, down the front straightaway, across the start-finish line, into turn 1. Cut as close to that barrier as possible, then sling it out as far as possible without getting a penalty down into the hard right-hander. Back on throttle, but very carefully. A lot of drivers lose the back end through there, including myself. It is so easy to get on the gas too hard, getting the run down this straightaway, and losing the back end through that area. Now fully straightens out, headed toward the hairpin. All the way down through the gears, down to first. Easy on the throttle so you don't spin the tires. Then full send it down to the kink. Slow back down for the left-hander. Just ease off the gas, then ease back onto it. This is one of those tracks that it is all about finesse and just being feather soft with your right foot. Back on the throttle, down toward the final 2 turns. Careful how wide you go. Cut the apex and full throttle back to the start-finish line. Giancarlo did that lap in a 1:37.33. As always, Giancarlo flying around the track. Don't forget to tune in Wednesday night for the 2nd annual Kathy Linder Memorial Cancer Charity Event. $3,000 have been raised so far, shooting for a goal of $5,000. Go donate. You can find plenty of our links, information on the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the Instagram. Giancarlo leading the field back in his racing form. Avery Walker in second, less than 2 seconds behind. Avery was definitely a driver constantly in contention last season. Has been getting faster every single season. One thing we've noticed, some of these drivers who swap cars regularly, but the guys that do not swap their cars regularly, like Avery, like Giancarlo, run the car the whole season. They seem to be the most dominant. Even the tracks where their car is weak, they are weakest, I should say, seem to be able to make something happen with it just due to spending so much time with the car. Could this be Avery's season? Avery has spent several seasons in the Audi and has gotten consistently faster everywhere they go. Always a contender. Adam Barker spent most of last season in the BMW, hopped in the Audi for a couple races, and pulled off his championship. Back in the BMW here today. What does the season hold for him? Brian LaRue back out in the Mercedes. We've seen him in that Merc a lot. And I do believe this is Mike Dolling's only first or second time in the Mercedes. Matt Bear in the BMW looking for some speed as well, back in 6th. Harry in 7th in the Merc. We've seen Harry try a lot of different cars and be fast in all of them. Yuho spent most of last season after spending most of the previous season in the Porsche. He had talked about going to a different car for last season, was looking at going to the Lambo, and then spent the entire season in the Mercedes and came so close to getting his second championship. Ed Schiller consistently in the Ferrari, doing a great job again here today. New paint scheme, looking to see if he can get up there and get in the title hunt. Dylan Steinbach is still on pit road. He might be done for race 1. Giancarlo out front, almost 4 seconds now over Avery. And would you look at this? Adam has started to reel Avery Walker back in. The restart of race 2, or the start of race 2 rather, should be interesting. As we saw the last half of the last season, the second race every week, when they invert the field, that top 7 trying to fight their way back toward the front, that got interesting more than once. We saw 4 and 5 wide on tracks that were not made for 4 and 5 wide. They were barely made for 2 or 3 wide. So we could see some interesting starts to race 2 before we could see one today, especially with that interesting turn 1 here at Hockenheim. Yeah, that could get really exciting really quick if they try and do 4 and 5 wide through there. Brian LaRue now is Doling looking. Mike Doling on the back bumper, had the nose in briefly on LaRue. LaRue managing to hold him off for the moment. A lot of drivers during practice were spending a lot of time sitting in the draft trying to figure out the best ways to pass, where to use that momentum, how to best utilize the draft. It's the most I've ever heard the drivers talking about the draft at any road course. Came as a bit of a shock, and guys really pushing it. Holy cow! Doling right to the back bumper. I mean, he almost got up under the diffuser. Dowling is sending it here today, folks. I don't know what they put in Dowling's Wheaties this morning, but man, oh no, Mike Dowling goes off. Nice drift through the grass. He saves it, loses a little bit of ground on LaRue. Now LaRue has a little bit of breathing room. Mike Dowling now 2 1/4 seconds back. Matt Bear, who started from pit road, now up to 7th, just managed to avoid that incident, is actually gaining now on Harry Volsmeer. Harry in the Mercedes just ahead. Mike Dowling about 9 seconds ahead of Harry, but I think we're about to have a battle for 6th place here as Matt Bear is gaining. Does look like Harry still has some damage from that lap 1 incident. He has not been to pit road. And you have to wonder, this being such an aero-heavy track, how much that is slowing him down on the straightaway. You saw as he came by that front splitter not down on the ground. You see it on that left front sitting up. He's not getting the same downforce. He's not getting the same aero effect. Plus the damage on the right rear, that spoiler being up higher, will slow him down a little. Giancarlo in the lead is already running down lap traffic. 10 minutes left to go in race 1. He has caught Ed Schiller. Ed did have to go to pit road for repairs earlier in the race, which slowed him down dramatically and has allowed Giancarlo to get here. Now Giancarlo has a little drafting help for a bit. And looks like Schiller is going to pull over and let the leader by. Avery Walker in second, now 3.4 seconds back. Adam 2 1/4 and back in third. Brian LaRue now 10 seconds back. Mike Dowling, who had fallen 2.5 seconds behind LaRue after their battle, has now started to close the gap. It's down to 1.3 or 1.7. And it is shrinking quickly. Dowling was definitely pushing the car earlier. After going off track, losing some ground, he is pushing again and is, at this rate, going to catch Brian LaRue in the next lap or two. Harry did open up a little bit of a gap now on Matt Bear. Matt was down under a second. The gap now 1.4. Yuho, after that lap 1 incident, Yuho really took the brunt of that incident. Flying through the air, crashing hard, had to go to pit road, had to get that car fixed. Now back in 8th place, not the way Yuho wanted to start his season, but doing the best he can to make that up. And as it stands right now, Matt Bear will start race number 2 on the pole. Remember, a couple races he started up on the front row last season, he went on to win. Can he do it again here today? And let's not forget Matt Bear's incredibly crazy restarts at Interlagos last season. It was literally the definition of full send into turn 1 and somehow made it stick every single time. If you missed those, definitely go check them out on YouTube. That was some crazy driving, but man, what a great race that was. Giancarlo back in form up front. 3.5 seconds is the gap over Avery now. Adam Barker almost 3 seconds behind in third. Brian LaRue back in fourth. Mike Dolling in fifth, hit about 1.5 seconds and has not gained a whole lot since that point. Will he have enough time? Just under 7 minutes. Can he get up there and battle LaRue again? Meanwhile, Harry has started pulling away from Matt Bear again. Harry's gap in 6th place, now 1 3/4 seconds over Matt Bear in 7th. Yuho back in 8th is actually currently setting some of the fastest laps out on the track, but just so far behind after that lap 1 incident, he needs a miracle to get up into the fight. But don't count Yuho out for race number 2. Avery Walker in 2nd is actually picking up a little bit of momentum here. 5 minutes left in the race. He's 3.5 seconds back. Giancarlo had been consistently pulling away the first half of the race, but looks like he has just fallen off a little bit more than Avery has. Avery's beat him by about 0.3 of a second the last couple of laps. Adam in 4th, Brian LaRue in 5th. Mike Dolling has caught LaRue. He caught him once before, couldn't get around. Will he be able to this time? Oh, man, that is getting close. Dolling is definitely going for it. Mike Dolling gets by LaRue. Let's watch that one again. Dolling has been all over LaRue and just forces LaRue to go wide and forces him to push the power a little too hard. Dolling is one of those drivers that if he gets in your head, you are done. And he had gotten in LaRue's head throughout race 1. If you're behind Mike Dolling, you're probably not getting by. If he's behind you, he is messing with your mind, and he will get by. We've seen it time and time and time again. What an amazing driver he is. And what a lot of fun to watch. Giancarlo out front with 3 minutes left to go. Giancarlo letting everybody know he is back. And what about Avery Walker? What an amazing run he has had. What a great start to this season so far. First race of the season, first doubleheader of the season. He's up in second. He has kept the car clean. At times he has been closing the gap on Giancarlo. Could be a championship contender here. And look at how pretty that Audi looks going around those corners. That thing is just so planted. We saw the Mercedes going through those corners earlier on and really having a hard time with it. Avery just able to point and go with that car this morning. Adam Barker back in third. Mike Dolling now up into fourth. You see how much wider the Mercedes are having to take that S section. Harry Volsmir back in sixth. Matt Bear in seventh. Matt had been gaining on him, but has lost a lot of ground here. Yuo in eighth, trying to make some sort of comeback after that lap one incident. Ed Schiller in ninth. Dylan Steinbach out of race one. One minute left, and when Giancarlo comes around, Barney the flagman should be giving him the white flag here. Let's hop in the cockpit and see if we can see Barney. Let's see if Giancarlo starts celebrating at the white flag or not. Looked like Barney was waving the white. Giancarlo never lifted his hands. Something is happening with Avery Walker. May have lost connection. Avery Walker appears to have lost connection. No, he is back. That had to have been a scary moment for Avery Walker. He had completely disappeared from the track for about the first few corners. Wasn't even registering on iRacing. He is back. He is still in second place. Have been a few glitches as of late. Always the first week or two after the season update, always a few glitches, but a huge shout out to the whole iRacing support and development team for all the awesome work they do. And they get that stuff cleaned up quickly. Giancarlo comes into the final stretch of the track. Just a couple more turns here. And Giancarlo is losing a ton of time to Avery Walker suddenly. But it will not be enough out of the final turn. Giancarlo will win race number one. Avery Walker comes home in second. And here comes Adam Barker to finish third. And let's see if we can get a word with our top three. Hey, Adam, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How we doing?
Hey, man. Great race. Pretty consistent there. And a close call after the finish line.
Yeah. Don't know what Giancarlo's doing there. Having a bit of fun.
Yeah, apparently he's happy to be back and just going to celebrate. But you had an incredibly consistent race there. Not looked like you didn't struggle very much, just didn't have all the speed you needed.
Yeah, I was just struggling with the fronts. Really, it's a lot harder than I originally thought this race would be. So, the Audi and Lamborghini are much nicer on their tires, and they like turning a lot more. So, I had a little bit of a plow on in some corners where it was really not happy. But yeah, good, consistent race. We'll see what we can do getting through the field. Avery and Giancarlo have got to get past me now, so let's see how hard I can make it.
Well, good luck, buddy. Make some adjustments, make that car fast, and we'll see you in race two.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can get our second place finisher. Avery, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, I have to say, the last half of that race, I have to. Early on, Giancarlo was able to pull away, but the second half of that race, you were really starting to run him down.
Yeah, I was trying, but I honestly think he was taking it easy because anytime I'd start to catch up, he would just put in another good lap and pull away more.
Well, man, I have to ask, with about 2 or 3 laps to go in the last 5 minutes, it looked like your connection went a little bit pear-shaped there for a minute.
Yeah, I was, usually it's my Steam VR crashing, but it seemed like this week maybe my internet was going to drop. But luckily, somehow it kept it together to finish.
And you come back with a second place finish. Last season, the last couple of seasons, you've been getting stronger literally every race. I mentioned it a couple of times. Are you going to be battling for a championship here this season?
That's definitely the goal. I haven't been good about participating in every race, so my goal this season is at least take part in every race, and I think if I do that, I'll be right up near the top.
Well, man, good luck. You definitely will be. You definitely had something for Giancarlo. Great race, and good luck in race 2.
Yeah, thanks.
And Giancarlo wins. Well, Giancarlo, I have to say, you come back and just go out and run away with it.
Yeah, it was a fun race. There seemed to be a bit of chaos behind at the start, unfortunately. But I think Avery and I were trading laps for a good minute there, and I think maybe he pushed a bit too hard and got us slow down, and that put a dent in that fight.
The second half of that race, the first half you really pulled off and just kind of pulled away from him, but the second half of that race, Avery really started to come on. He said that he felt like you were maybe taking it easier every other lap, and when you saw the gap close, when he started coming on, you would put down a faster lap. But honestly, the lap times didn't suggest that you were slowing down any. Was he getting closer in the second half of that?
I think so. I mean, I think as I try to do usually, like if I get a 3 or so second gap, I try to just settle in and get comfortable with the pace and not push. And then if I really need to turn up the wick, I try to. But I think he was more or less catching me for the most of the second half of the race.
I have heard several drivers saying that the Lambo, especially with the heat here today, has a bit of an advantage. It looked like you could just put the car wherever you want it, and I don't think we saw your back tires break loose a single time.
Oh, well, I'm glad it didn't show on the broadcast. There were a few moments there where I had to be extra careful. But no, yeah, the Lambos, it's always a challenge, but it's always fun to drive.
Well, man, good luck in race number 2. Welcome back, and you definitely came back in style, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, so Giancarlo wins race number 1. They are set to go green in about a minute and a half. You've got just enough time to get some food, get some drink, go to the snack bar while you're standing in line. Hit that like, that share, the follow, the subscribe. Hit all the buttons. Just go play with all of them. There's Instagram buttons, there's Twitter buttons, and there's Twitch, and there's YouTube and Facebook. There's all the buttons. Think about all the fun you can have playing with the buttons. Don't forget Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern, the big charity event. Hey, McMullet, not in the field today. Doing Father's Day stuff. We'll see you next week back in the field, Eric McCready. As I was saying, Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern. Don't forget to tune in for the second annual Kathy Linder Memorial Race. We have actually, last year's goal was 1,000. We beat that goal big time, hit 3,000. This year's goal was $5,000 for the American Cancer Society. We were at $3,000 last night. And remember, the broadcaster of that did lay down a challenge. If we hit $5,000, he will live stream his girlfriend shaving his chest. Although I will ask that you stop before we get to $10,000. I said if we get to $10,000 before Wednesday night, I would wear put on do pre-race in a OU shirt. Yeah, I really don't want to do that. So stop at like $9,999, please. All right, on to race number 2. Yeah, Eric, few paint job issues this morning. Adam's new paint scheme not showing up for some reason. Couple of drivers with new paint schemes, couple of them without. Matt Baer will start this one on the front row with Harry. Brian LaRue and Mike Dolling of the second row. Adam Barker, Avery Walker on the third. Giancarlo and Yuho on the fourth row. Ed Schiller starting in 9th. Dylan Steinbach lined up, or is scheduled to start in 10th. However, he did not make it through the first race and does not look like he is taking the grid. And here they go. Remember, the last time Matt Baer started on the pole, he won, dominated it. Can he do it again? Or will he try that full send into turn 1 like he did at Interlagos? And will he be able to make that one stick? It's a little bit hotter, a little bit trickier here today. We'll take a look at track temperatures and see if they've come up here in just a moment. But let's watch them as they come through that final turn. The Porsche pace car pulling in. Here they come. Barney the flagman holds the flag, getting ready. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away, and here it comes. They are going to try and fight it out. No, everybody settles in for the moment. Look at Dolling go. Dolling makes it stick. No issues on this one. Matt Baer and Harry now battling for first. Harry looks down to the inside. Can't get there yet. Brian LaRue back in 3rd. Dolling in 4th. Adam Barker in 5th. Barker now looking back to the inside on Dolling. We saw this battle play out multiple times last season. And look at this. Harry to the lead. Matt Baer goes wide through the hairpin. And now LaRue looks to the inside. Adam Barker all over the back bumper of Dolling, but look at Harry go. Brian LaRue up to 2nd. Now Dolling in 3rd. Adam Barker in 4th. And Yuho on the comeback in 5th. Oh no, Harry is around. Brian LaRue takes the lead. What happened? What happened here to Harry? Goes off into the corner and, oh, a little too hard on the gas, on the rumble strips, and in the inside wall. He'll get going again, but his chance of winning likely over. And what a heartbreak after an awesome start by Harry today. Now Brian LaRue, oh no! Dolling goes wide. They're going to go 3 wide. Here comes Yuho and Barker. And here comes Giancarlo. This may not end well, folks. They all make it through. Wow. Everybody made it through on that one. Harry Volsmir is on pit road for repairs. Giancarlo and Yuho now battle it out. And look at this. Matt Baer back in the fight. And here comes Ed Schiller. Meanwhile, Brian LaRue out front. He's loving these battles going on behind him. Adam had gotten past Mike Dolling for a moment, but now they battle it out. A little bobble out of Adam Barker. Still holds on to 2nd. Dolling into 3rd. Yuho in 4th. Looks like Yuho might be blinking. Giancarlo now up into 5th. Avery Walker in 6th, saying he is going to try and make every race this season. He was close in the points when he was here last season. If he makes it every race, he could be a championship contender here. Matt Baer back in 7th, a great start, a problem in the hairpin, still in the fight, and look at Avery down to the inside on Giancarlo. There is battles everywhere from second place on back, and now second place, Adam Barker has almost got LaRue. Mike Dolling in third. Yuho in fourth. Giancarlo in fifth. They settle in for a moment. Avery in sixth. Matt Bear in seventh. The fastest lap last time by was Ed Schiller in eighth place. These boys might want to watch out for that Ferrari. Quick look. Let's see if the track temperature comes down, because the lap times, the track temperature down 2 degrees from race 1. It was 88, now down to 86. Air temperature still 69. And humid as heck out there. Brian LaRue has led almost every lap here. Looks like he might have a little bit of splitter damage on the right front. No, that is not damage. That's just the bend of it. But Adam Barker all over the back bumper. Barker looks down to the bottom to the lead. And LaRue backs out. Barker gets by, and here comes... Oh no, LaRue! LaRue tried to set up the charge back forward and loses it. Adam Barker now has the lead. Adam clips of the grass. Mike Dolling in second. Look who's in third now. Giancarlo. Look who's all over his back bumper. Avery Walker in fourth. These guys are really pushing. Let's see Brian LaRue's incident again. What a heartbreak. He was having a great run here. Gets down, gets on the brakes a little early, trying to set up to get the run off the corner. Just gets too much of the rumble strip on the inside. He gets it going, but slips back into fifth. And now look at this. Giancarlo, Mike Dolling knows he is there. Giancarlo, Dolling moves to block Giancarlo to the high side. Avery goes with Giancarlo. Giancarlo, everybody gets squirrely. And Dolling moves back up to block. Dolling is always tough to pass. What a battle they have going here. And oftentimes when you're watching Dolling, if you watch his laps, he's really not blocking. He is just going to his line. Just happens to be where the other driver needs to be. Dolling, a great defensive driver. Now look at the Giancarlo, they touch. Giancarlo is around. LaRue gets him. Avery's around. Several drivers caught. Let's see if the chopper got a view of this one. Here they go down. Giancarlo trying to set up for the pass. He gets the nose in and just pushes a little too hard into Dolling. And you see the chaos that comes from that. Avery Walker caught. Ed Schiller has to go through the grass. Or the sand, rather. Giancarlo is on pit road. Looks like he got some damage out of that. And meanwhile, Adam Barker is just walking away from the field. Adam now has a 3.1 second lead over Mike Dolling in second. Yuho now up into third. Brian LaRue back to fourth, and Matt Bear in fifth. Harry Volsmeer just turned the fastest lap of the race so far in the Mercedes, back in eighth. Giancarlo has been to pit road, gotten repairs. He is back out in ninth, 1.9 seconds behind Harry. And Adam Barker has a 2. His lead is diminishing as Mike Dolling is on the move today. Mike Dolling has Yuho breathing all down his neck. Those two Mercedes about to have quite a battle here. My voice may not survive this morning's race, folks. Brian LaRue back up in 4th, Matt Bear in 5th. Matt Bear led from the start of the race, started on the pole, but down into the hairpin, overshot battling, drifted way back, but has managed to avoid all the chaos and fight his way back up. Meanwhile, Yuho trying to make a move on Mike Dolling for 2nd. What a battle this has been. Yuho a little bit wide as he tries to get as much momentum and set up on Mike Dolling as possible. Dolling, though, just running those consistent laps, and if you watch his line as Mike Dolling goes around, you see he does not actually move the block very often. He just puts his car where he wants it. He runs his line, an exceedingly good defensive driver. One of the toughest drivers to pass here. Mike Dolling now in 2nd. Barker still in the lead. 3 seconds is the gap. It had started shrinking. However, Adam has pulled away just a little bit now that Dolling and Yuho are battling it out. And Giancarlo just set the fastest lap of the race. Not only that, he's the only driver thus far to break the 138 mark. He's down to 137.82. 0.2 of a second faster than everybody else's fastest lap. Adam Barker, defending champion, though, out front trying to make it happen again. Adam comes home 3rd in race number 1 and looking for the win in race number 2. And the first 10 minutes have definitely been to his benefit. Mike Dolling back in 2nd. Still has Yuho right there, about a half a second behind. Oh! Yuho gets into the sand, loses the back end, and never even lifted. Matt Barrett now up into 4th, has gotten past Brian LaRue. How did that happen? Let's see. Just managing to stick the nose in. Look at the way that through that 2nd turn, Matt was just able to turn that BMW and point it. I have to think during the break between races, Matt made some sort of adjustment to that car, because race 1, he was not pointing that car quite like that. Brian LaRue currently running in 5th. Avery Walker in 6th. Ed Schiller in 7th. Harry Volsmere now in 8th as Giancarlo. They're going to drag race down toward the hairpin. And, oh, Giancarlo gets the nose in. Giancarlo takes 8th from Harry. And what a race this has been so far. And Adam Barker just ran his fastest lap of the race, only 3/100ths of a second slower than Giancarlo's. Wow, these times are coming down. These drivers are cranking it up. Avery Walker just ran the fastest lap of the race, beating both Giancarlo and Adam Barker by a tenth of a second. Avery, as we talked to between the races, a guy that is definitely going to be worth watching all season long, competing for the championship. Finished second in race number 1, currently running in 6th, and running down Matt Bear and Brian LaRue at the moment. Meanwhile, Adam Barker out front, just in consistent lap mode right now. Oh, a little bit wide there. You see a lot of drivers have been through the sand there. Avery Walker currently in 6th place, about 10 seconds behind Adam Barker, running everybody down at the moment. What a comeback this would be if he can break into the top 5 or even the top 3. And right now, Avery definitely has the speed for it. Avery just ran an identical lap. He has the 2 fastest laps of the race, and he ran them both back to back at identical lap times. 137.76. Adam Barker's last lap, 138.05. I think these guys might want to worry about that Audi, because Avery Walker now has Brian LaRue in his sights. Brian, a little bit of damage to the right front from the earlier incident. Getting caught up when Giancarlo went around. Meanwhile, Giancarlo back in 8th place. He is 13 seconds behind 7th place Ed Schiller. And what about Ed Schiller? Had one of the fastest laps out there in the early going. The only Ferrari in the field, and just a bit outside. Ed Schiller last season really started cranking that Ferrari up as well. There are a lot of drivers that were last season just saw consistent improvement. Ed Schiller being one of those guys that we will have to watch. Expect him a top 5 points finish this season. And Adam Barker, not to be outdone, just laid down the fastest lap. 137.65. Are the track temps coming down? They are not. These guys are just getting faster. Adam Barker's lead now almost 5 seconds. Now Yuho up to second. Dolling in third, Matt Bear in fourth, and look who's in fifth. Avery Walker has gotten past LaRue for 5th place. Avery has been driving like a man possessed this morning. Adam Barker up front, just looking for some consistency. 10 minutes left to go. He's got the big lead right now. just needing to turn some consistent laps. Yuho in second, though, has cranked it up. Just ran his fastest lap of the race and his first lap under a minute 38. Mike Dulling in third, right with him. Matt Bear in fourth, now has his fans full. The Audi of Avery Walker is there. Here's an interesting note on Avery right now, too. When he was back behind Brian LaRue, as Avery shoots by and Matt goes for the crossover move, they're going to drag race it down into the kink. Both drivers given a little extra room, but the advantage momentum-wise goes to the Audi. And, oh, it is so close side by side again. Matt Bear pulls back ahead. Avery definitely has a lot of fight in him here today. But Matt Bear not giving an inch. They don't call him the Mad Bear for nothing. Avery looks down. Avery down to the inside. He's got the nose in, but Matt powers off. What a battle this is turning out to be. Avery was, for a time, actually gaining on Adam Barker. Based on the gap between them, he had chopped back when he was in 7th place after the incident. The gap to first was 11 seconds. Avery down to the inside through 1. Avery had chopped that lead down to under 9 seconds and was gaining on the leader. If he clears Matt Bear, he could run down the top. He could easily run down Mike Dulling. They go back through the kink, or through the hairpin. Oh, a little bobble out of Avery. Matt Bear pulls ahead again. Mike Dulling in third, still on the back bumper of Yuho. Yuho still 5 seconds behind the leader, Adam Barker. Oh, Adam really wide. Mike Dulling in third. Man, what a morning he has had. Matt Bear in fourth. It still has Avery all over the back bumper. And the advantage here, at least when it comes to the speed of the cars, definitely goes to the shorter, more compact Audi. That big BMW punching a bigger hole in the air for him. But Matt Bear has just been sending that BMW around the turns, making it stick. Could this be it, though? Avery to the inside. Bear gets close. Avery trying to cut off his exit. Now the drag race again. The smaller Audi does have an aero advantage, but the BMW does have a little power advantage here. They're equal down toward the kink, or toward the hairpin, excuse me. Avery brakes later. Matt's going to go for the cross. Oh, Matt goes around. Matt Bear just pushed a hair too hard. Goes around. He loses 2 spots. Avery now to 4th. What a run, and you got to give props to Matt Bear there. He just did not give up. What a battle that was between Avery and Matt. Wow. Adam Barker's lead right at 5 seconds. Matt Bear lost both 4th and 5th place. Brian LaRue slipped by. Now can he run down LaRue, get back into the top 5? Adam Barker's lead still right at 5 or under 5 seconds now. as Yuho has begun to chop away just a little bit. Mike Dolling staying right there within about 1.5 seconds of Yuho, hoping for a mistake. Avery Walker, once he cleared Matt Bear, was 5 seconds behind Mike Dolling. That gap is now down to 3.8, and it is closing quickly. But as we have mentioned multiple times, Mike Dolling is one of the toughest drivers out here to pass. And Giancarlo back in 8th place, just laid down the fastest lap of the race, a 137.47. As lap times continue to drop, Giancarlo is getting faster. He is still 4.6 seconds behind Ed Schiller, though. He might be able to catch him. Will he be able to in the next 5.5 minutes is the question. Adam Barker extending his lead by 1/4 of a second, now 5 1/4 over Yuho in second. Here comes Dolling in third. Dolling is actually starting to close the gap on Yuho now. I think some of the drivers that we have seen in the past, I think the week off, they have spent a lot of time behind the wheel testing, tuning, getting these cars perfect, because the racing has been a lot closer today, a lot more aggressive, and a lot more exciting. I think we are in for an awesome season. Dolling just looks a bit more planted out of the hairpin than Yuho, and that is where he gained a lot of time. Meanwhile, back behind him, Avery Walker now under 3 seconds behind this battle. And Adam Barker has to love the fact that these battles are happening behind him. His lead now 5.3 seconds, but another note of interest, Avery Walker is gaining. He is under 9 seconds behind the leader now. Brian LaRue currently running in 5th. Had a great start to this race. Got caught behind some problems. Has still managed to fight back for a top 5. Matt Bear in 6th was up battling. Just lost the back end of the car coming out of the hairpin, but what a show Matt Bear has put on for us this morning. Ed Schiller in 7th, the lone Ferrari in the field at the moment, holding Giancarlo off. Having a great run in 7th place. Giancarlo currently running in 8th, and Harry Fulsmeer back in 9th. Meanwhile, Adam Barker is extending his lead little by little, now 5.5 seconds over Yuho in 2nd. Dolling is there in 3rd, and gaining on him quickly is Avery Walker. This battle for 2nd will involve Avery Walker before long, especially if Dolling can get to Yuho and start fighting for the position. But with just a couple of laps to go, they're really going to be close on time. If Dolling is going to do anything, he has to crank it up to 11 right about now. Matt Bear has gone off track. Looks like it might have just gone up. This was the previous incident. My mistake. Mike Dulling still right there with Yuho, and Avery Walker 1.5 seconds back. Adam Barker out front now, 6 seconds is the lead over Dulling and Yuho. And Avery Walker's comeback here this morning is legendary. Oh! Looks like Avery pushing really hard got a little too much of the strips there. Harry Volsmuir has crashed. White flag is in the air for the leaders. What happened to Harry? Down through the hairpin, just a little too much gas as he gets on the rumble strips. Adam Barker last time through turn 1. Yuho currently running in second, has a 1 second lead over Mike Dulling in third. Avery Walker has caught him in fourth. Brian LaRue currently running in fifth. Matt Bear closing in sixth. Ed Schiller in seventh, and Giancarlo in eighth has caught Schiller. Harry Volsmuir back in ninth. Dylan Steinbach did not start race 2. Adam Barker just looking to finish one more lap. And here comes Avery Walker, has right to the back bumper. But getting past Mike Dulling is a whole nother level of being fast. Can he get it done here in this last couple of corners? This does give Yuho a little breathing room as Avery is attacking. Avery right to the back bumper, just couldn't find the momentum there. Now here he comes. He just sets up wide. Dulling moves up. He can't do anything. Adam Barker comes through the final turn. He will win at Hockenheim. Yuho comes out of the final turn in second. Who's it going to be for third? Mike Dulling will come home third. Avery finishing fourth. Brian LaRue will come home in fifth. Matt Bear in sixth. Giancarlo comes home seventh. Ed Schiller will be eighth, and ninth will be Harry Volsmuir. And let's talk to our top three. Let's start with Mike Dulling. Hey, Mike, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. Yeah, I got you.
Man, you guys wore me out this morning, but what a race you had.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a real lot of fun. I couldn't quite catch Yuho. I kept trying, just couldn't do it. And then I had Avery breathing down my neck at the last lap. It was a good race today.
It definitely was. That first 3 or 4 laps, though. I mean, you guys, wow. Let me know when you land.
Yeah. Yeah, those first few laps were good battles. They were really good battles.
I think that first few laps, you guys really, everybody was in contention there, and it just came down to who was the most consistent. But there at the end, man, you definitely had a ton of speed. You get to Yuho, just didn't have enough to get around him.
Yeah, there was no way I could pass him. It was just a case of just trying to stay with him more than anything else. It was good. It was a good race. Really, really good start to the season.
It really was, and definitely looking forward to seeing how your season goes. I definitely have to say, It looks like you have turned the aggression up to 11, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes, buddy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely going to be. I'm going to be trying this season.
Well, good luck and congratulations, man. Great way to start.
Yes, Doug. Thanks.
And Yuho comes home in second place. Hey, Yuho, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
I am good, man. What a race you had this morning, man. What a fight that was at the end.
Yeah. They destroyed my beloved Merc, obviously, you know. Unfair. Now I need to learn how to drive this sucker. Yeah.
Well, you definitely had something figured out this morning. You were flying throughout the race and put on quite a show there and managed to hold Dolling off as well.
Yeah, but it looks like when you look at the lap times, like what Avery was catching us on the end, so the whole strategy was that everybody else will kill themselves. So that doesn't, it's not very solid strategy for the whole season, so I guess I need to be quicker later on.
Well, you definitely know how to be quicker, man, and that was a fun race. I know race 1 did not go your way, but you definitely made quite a comeback in the second race.
Yeah, and it was big fun. So yeah, good race.
Well, a great way to start the season. Congratulations, Juho.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks.
And let's see if we can talk to our winner, who's actually streaming at the moment. Hold on. Hey, Adam, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, good. Congratulations. You definitely had the best start to the season today.
Yeah, really happy with that. Super aggressive at the start. I really had to get around Mike before he started defending like he normally does.
He definitely was throwing some defensive moves out there, but you managed to clear him pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was the key there. If we'd have fought for another few laps, I think if the other guys might have got involved with it as well. I know there was a little bit of a collision or something behind, which gave me all the room I needed.
Well, once you had that room, man, you were off like a bullet. You were flying around that track. You opened up at one point a 6-second lead over the rest of the field.
Yeah, as soon as I got into first, I could see Mike was second. I needed to. I knew I was faster than Mike, and I knew Mike is hard to pass. So I quali mode every lap as quick as I could do. Forget about tire wear, and to see what sort of gap I could open up. If Giancarlo had got through, I was thinking that I needed about an 8-second gap. Otherwise, he'd have caught me pretty quickly.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely the case, although the one that would probably have been the most worrisome today was Avery. He was actually at points running you down by over a second a lap.
Yeah, it was insane, the speed that these guys have got. So I was just trying to manage the pace, keep the tires alive at the end, because the car's definitely not set up for the heat. It was a lot cooler in the VRS one, so as soon as you start really pushing the car, it really wants to go straight on.
Well, man, congratulations. You start the season with the points lead. That is a great way to go, and looking forward to seeing how the rest of your season goes, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Adam Parker wins. I'm sorry, Eric, I did not see the question in time. And thank you for the stars, Eric. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the upcoming charity event. I believe BRR is racing tonight, so we'll be back at 7:30 Eastern. And a lot more to come. There will be some announcements about this week's schedule later on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. I gotta go catch my breath. What an awesome way to start the GT3 NSS series here on Father's Day. Have a great day.